The multi-generational Dawkins family farm, the Pyramid, is located in the Waihopai Valley near Blenheim. The farming operation has diversified and expanded. It not only runs sheep and cattle, but has moved into farm forestry and viticulture. It also supports firewood and honey businesses set up by Chris and Julia Dawkins' sons. Richard Dawkins explains.
Youngest of 4 boys, spent 9 years away from the home farm. Not many people are fortunate enough to sort of live out their childhood dreams, but something I'd always planned on was coming home to the farm. And great to be able to do that with Jess by my side and also 2 little girls now. So now back home and serving a thorough apprenticeship under Dad's guidance. And I'm full of enthusiasm really, having the time away, but now coming home and willing to learn and move on to the next step of farm management here. In 2015 we acquired a water right, so it was a matter of deciding what to do with this water allocation. Viticulture was the most efficient and economic use of water, so the decision was made to develop these 50 hectares. It also gave us various options in terms of succession. It means there is room for other labour units to come home and either manage or work on the vineyard. Also a significant capital gain in land values, so the family can now leverage off the extra capital. So various reasons for the development. Being ardent sheep and cattle farmers, it certainly wasn't our area of expertise, so engaged professionals and the development work was undertaken by contractors. Approximate development costs are $60,000 to $70,000 a hectare, so everything ranging from logging of shelter belts to removal of water troughs, ripping rows through to planting. Just the entire development was undertaken by contractors. When we developed the vineyard, a neighbouring property came up for sale, so we managed to buy 187 hectares of farmland to compensate for the loss of vineyard area. So we're actually running the same number of ewes and cattle numbers as well pre-development. So basically more of the same when it comes to the stock, although a lot of development work required on the new block. Sheep are what's known as a long down, so a composite breed, very focused on meat. Wool is more of a byproduct for us, but a highly fecund ewe, great meat yields, excellent meat production. The cattle's a very simple system in that provide Jersey bulls for the dairy industry, buy carryover cows, which are empty dairy cows, which we then get back in calf and sell to the dairy industry, and also fatten Frisian bulls, which are sold as 2-year-olds. Very happy with the lamb production this past season. Cleared 80% of the lambs off mum at weaning. They average a 19 kilo carcass weight. So really want to replicate that in the future. Another 50 hectares of vineyard being developed this coming year. So the challenge will be to maintain those standards of livestock performance, but with careful management and, as always, better genetics coming through, I think we can maintain those high standards. Due to the fact we've been farming here for generations now, Jess and I will be the 3rd generation running the Pyramid, very aware of climatic threats and also the landscape here at the Pyramid. So grow 100 hectares of lucerne, which really does help us with the summer dry. A couple of thunderstorms through November, December really does provide you with a bulk of feed, so you can finish the last of your lambs or put that feed into maternal stock into your hoggets for mating the following year. So it's really a matter of designing your system around the climate and what suits on farm. Traditionally, the Pyramid has been 25% stony river flat, 50% rolling clay downs and 25% steeper hill. And funnily enough, the new tumble block is very similar in that regard. So managed to get the tractor over about 80 hectares, planted 20 hectares in trees, and now left with the remaining steeper country, which we'll look to improve through hoof and tooth and possibly some oversowing as well. The main 50 hectares along the front range here is mainly for lamb finishing through the winter and spring. We've managed to drill 15 hectares of lucerne around the outside, around the river flats, and currently have 100 Jersey and Friesian bulls on a crop of maize. So 6 hectares of maize, about 10 tonnes per hectare. We'll have the bulls in there for 40 or 50 days, which certainly eases the pressure over the summer. So currently located at the northern end of the new Tummel development, the Firewood business really came about from the purchase of the Tummel block. There was a significant weed problem on the Tummel. The biggest weeds were a couple of 100 old man pine trees. So we logged those. There was actually an export market for some of the timber, but about 100 tonnes of firewood there. Fortunately, a local firewood business was for sale at the time, so took advantage of the opportunity and purchased the business and started chipping away at this 100 tonne of old man pine, but business went from strength to strength. It's become very popular and struggling to keep up with demand. Next oldest brother, Patrick, started Pyramid Apiaries 4 years ago. It's another part of our diversification, another string to our bow, so to speak. Very much focused on honey production. Has 300 hives here at home, but also another couple of hundred spread around the Marlborough district. So mixed grade honey, but also a couple of manuka sites further out the back of the Avon Valley, which are proving quite valuable. Also involved in breeding queen bees for sale. And a new innovation is the online magazine. Himself and his wife Laura have begun publishing, so that's called Apiarist Advocate and is a free monthly magazine.
Thanks, New Zealand On Air.